Hi there, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd do a follow-up video from last week's 2025 recap. This video this week is all about sort of my 2026 plans in terms of targets I've set myself for both running and cycling and my duathlons, but then also a little bit of some of the races which I'm going to be looking at this year, and especially on the sort of the cycling as well. So give you a bit of a lowdown of some of the courses I'm going to be hopefully racing on this year over the 10 mile and 25 mile. So yeah, it won't be too much of a long video, so we'll keep this short and sweet this week. Yeah, in terms of the cycling, I thought I'd kick off with that after a good season last year. So I've gone a little bit shoot for the moon this year. Although I've sort of been targeting the sort of sub 20 minutes for the 10 mile over the last few years because of how well I rode over the 25 last year, breaking sort of 50 minutes, which is averaging over 30 mile an hour. I didn't think setting a target of sub 20 was really do myself that much justice this year. So over the 10 mile, I've really shot for the moon on this one and given myself a target to try and ride a sub 19. Now, I'm not sure that that's going to be possible or not, but I'm really going to have a good crack at that. I know some of the club that I ride with and some of the guys there who I've sort of beaten over 25 mile this year, sort of gone very low 19 minutes. So I think I possibly can get that sub 19. So I'm going to give myself a real big sort of target there of riding a sub 19. I've got a bit of an A target and a sort of a B target. The club record is actually 19:15. So yeah, see if I can get that 19:15. But yeah, I want to see if I can try and break sub 19 minutes as well, which is going to be a bit of a tough ask. Then in terms of the 25, I did a 49:46 last year with making a bit of an error on one of the junctions as well. So again, with that, I've got a target to try and ride a sub 49. It sounds a big gap, but I think in reality I was in 49:30 shape on the course that I did last year after making a little bit of the mishap. I've got some upgrades on the bike this year in terms of a bigger chain set as well, which hopefully some of the sections where I was spinning out on a couple of the courses last year will enable me to get a bit more power down and hopefully improve that sort of top end speed on some of the slightly areas of the courses where they've got that descent. So, and again, in terms of the club record, it's actually 49:36. So I've got sort of two targets there. One, can I get this club record, which I'm just 10 seconds off, which is 49:36, and then two, can I sort of try and get that sub 49, which in reality I'm probably looking about a 30-second improvement. So I'm hoping a little bit of some more gains made with equipment choices and things like that, and then a bit of performance as well. I should get close to that. Also with cycling, I'm looking at hopefully doing another 100 this year and seeing if I can break 4 hours. I think I did about 4:08 last year. I think it was about 4:10 on the course, but it was a long course, so I'm definitely capable, I think, of running a cycling a sub 4 on a quick course. So then in terms of running, I had set myself over the last sort of 4 or 5 years a target to run sub 16. I've really struggled to sort of get pretty close to that. I've done a 16:18, so I'd love to get a sub 16, but in reality I think I'm this year just see if I can get close to the 16:10 and give myself a little bit of a stepping stone to try and a 16:10. I think last year I was in about 16:20 shape, so 16:10, a couple of good races, hopefully I can get close to that. In terms of the 10k, I did a 35:07 back end of December. I'm hoping I can run 34:30 or below. So I've given myself a target of 34:30, which, yeah, you're talking 5 seconds a mile quicker there. So we'll see. If I do a half marathon, not sure I'm going to be able to squeeze one in this year, but I want to see if I can run a sub 118 if I try and get a half marathon in some time in this summer, probably between my two sort of big duathlon races that I've got lined up. Yeah, so those are the sort of objectives sort of time wise over the running and cycling. Then in terms of competitions outright, I've actually got the European Middle Distance Duathlon in April. I think it's April the 12th in Alsdorf, Germany. So I'm all booked up, hotel all booked up and everything ready for that. give myself an aim there of hopefully medaling again. It's a pretty competitive field. I actually find, I think the middle distance sometimes is actually stronger than the standard that I race. But yeah, hopefully give myself the objective there of hopefully getting a hold of another European medal. And then also in November, much later in the year, I've got the World Standard Distance Championships in Abu Dhabi, which I'm all booked up in terms of hotel and accommodation for that. Just got to sort the flights out on that one. But yeah, hopefully, again, that's the medal I'm missing at the moment. I've got national British medal, I've got a European medal, want to get a world medal this year, so that's a big objective in November for that. So those are my sort of I suppose the objectives in terms of my times. In terms of just to give you an idea of some of the courses I'm thinking of, more so around the cycling. There's a couple of quick 10-mile courses that I'll hopefully get on. I actually rode my PB of 2027 on the E210. So there's a couple of opportunities to get on that during the summer. And then outside of that, I've also got the F1110, which is supposed to be a really quick course. Now, I know a couple of guys that rode on that last year who I'm similar sort of pace-wise over 25. So, and I know they were riding very low 19s on that course last year, and I think it was a pretty good day though. I've ridden it before and not raced that well on it. I think it's one of those where you really got to find the good warm weather on that course. But yeah, real quick, fast course. So that's probably the two courses that I'm really going to prioritise on in terms of the 10 mile. In terms of the 25, I'm hopefully going to then get back onto a PB course, which is the R25 3H, and then also on top of that look at the R25 7. So the R25 7 is over near near Ross-on-Wye, and that's where I did a 50.08 last year. So I think I've got the capability of riding again, hopefully a sub 50 there. I'm not sure I can get a sub 49 on that course. Slightly slower than the previous course. However, when I rode the 50.08 on that course, it wasn't the best of days. Actually started to drizzle a bit on the last sort of 5 to 10 mile. It wasn't the warmest of days either, so which makes a big difference on the bike. Obviously, the warmer the day, you just slice through that air a lot better. So yeah, so those are my sort of race objectives for the year. Like I said, the big one really is in November for the Abu Dhabi. Yeah, so those are the big targets for the year. Hopefully then over the next few months I'm going to be putting up some regular content, hopefully once a week, just talking about my journey, talking about what I'm training, how I'm training and what I'm doing. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll put some more content out soon. Cheers for now.